Right, here we go. Another flight today from Luton Airport to Dublin. Alright, let's get set up. So here we are in the 737-800 on stand 14. Just getting everything set up. Okie dokie. Okay, so let's get the GPU connected. Alright. GPU is connected, so we will get started now. Alright, here we go. Ground power selected, so we'll switch that on. Fuel imbalance, already sorted that out in the menu. So let me just put. So put our SimBrief here. So we've got payload of 17,800. kilograms, and we have got fuel on there we are. Now the total fuel here today of 6,134, so round it up to 6,200, and our estimated takeoff weight here is around 66. That's 16,000, so I was wondering why that was 16,800. Yeah, that looks better. Takeoff weight of around 65.9 tons. Alright, so let's get started. Let's just close GP APU. Let's get the AP switched on. 3. Get the iris aligned. It's on now. Yeah, let's shut the cockpit door first. And get that locked. Guard is closed. Emergency equipment checked. That we have. Let's presume we've got the emergency equipment, like fire extinguishers and that. One lights are checked. Guard closed. EOT lighting switches. Guard closed. Light is extinguished. GPS light. No amber. Light extinguished. And then in here, before we do anything, let's get the nav data's good. Let's set the iris position. That's in there. Verify position. Alright, so service interference is off. Yep, that's off. Some panels set. Landing gear lights are illuminated. Oh, make sure it's landing gear levers down, which it is, and it's illuminated. Flight recorder is up here, closed. Stall warning test, so 1 and 2. Passed on 1. And passed on 2. Alright. Stall warning test is pass. The landing gear manual extension lever is there, and all looking good. Gate closed. Parking brake as needed, so parking brakes on as required right now. That's our prelims done. So CDU, let's get this set up. So let's go on to the performance initialization page and get our numbers in there. So reserves today off. So our fuel burn will be. Hang on, let me get that information. Yeah, so FinRes is 1043, so 1. Cost index today is cost index of 56. Cruising at 36,000 feet. Flight level 360 goes in there. Execute that. And let's do our routing. So we have got a company route of, I've already done the flight plan. So Echo Golf Whiskey, Luton to EIDW, Echo India Delta Whiskey, and that's Dublin. Can I activate that? Request the flight plan there. Yeah. Okay, take off with flaps 5, and we've got our Q radius there. Center of gravity and trim information is there too. So again, departing Luton. Let's have a look at the legs. Departing Luton onto OLNEY, Welling, Akupa, Timpo, Belvos, TNT, Rodal, MCT, into BAGSO, and then from BAGSO, might as well put in our arrival here. Let's have a look. So from BAGSO, we've got coming into runway 28 right. So arrival runway. Let's run the 28 right. And exit 3L. Avenue. Right, let's have a look how the plan's looking on here. So yep, that is exactly what we have on SimBrief. So if I do parking out for north over Manchester, top of this then, and then we've got BAGSO, detail here, south and then on west into 28 right. That's looking good. Alright, let's go back to the top. And let's set the map. Okay. So initial data set, navigation data set, performance data has been set as well. So if we go back to this, takeoff data is there. We've got all our QRHs there. Pre-flight briefing is done. Pre-flight captains test the lights. All lights are on. Just making sure. All lights are working. EFIS control panel, all lights. If this panel, we can set the minimums to radio altimeter 300 feet above ground level. That's it. Just getting the data for Luton here. Let's see. 1016 hectopascals today. There we are. 1016 hectopascals set. And let's check the co-pilots. 1016 set. So for departure, we've got 20 nautical miles on the map displayed, and we're on map mode. Can turn the weather on, and we can turn the airports on as well. We don't need the terrain, we'll just have the weather. If this panel set mode control is gonna be OLNEY, VNAV. Let's set the flight director on first. VNAV, OLNEY for departure, and then we'll set everything up in just a second. Can set the course when we depart out, when we're descending into Dublin. Oxygen is tested. The clock is set to 9:26 GMT, which is 10:26 British summertime, which is the time right now. Clock is set. Nose wheel steering. Guard is closed. Display select panel is fine. The takeoff config is extinguished. Cabin altitude, let's set that to... sorry, cabin altitude light is extinguished, but whilst we are here, let's set our flight altitude of 35,000 feet here today. It was 35, 36. Let's go back and see. So we're cruising at flight level 360, up 36,000 feet. Hold to 1, hold to 2 lights are tested. Stab trim, lights extinguished. Flight instrument panels look good. Let's actually turn some of the lights on here. Maybe I need the background, but panel lights we can have as on, that's fine. Standby instruments, we can set that now to 1016 hectopascals. Standby RMI is done. Speed brake lever is down. Reverse thrusters are down, just to confirm that. Yep, they're down. Forward thrust levers are closed. Flat lever set, we can set that to flaps. Yep, that's fine. We can set that once we've got power. Flaps indicator is set to 0. Parking brakes set. We've already checked. Engine start levers are both off, cut off. Stabilizer trim is both to normal. And we're not working with the radios today, so we can just get past that. And let's say the seatbelts are on. So we've done the fuel panel, is that electric panel, is that overhead panel. Is set. So we've already done the do some of the fire tests. I'm just kind of whizzing through the first office check, otherwise we'd be here forever. Right, let's test that. All green, and then the other way. Oh. Yeah, 3 greens there as well. APU as needed. We've already got the APU on, so we can get rid of our ground power. Emergency exit lights, guard closed. Passenger signs. Let's set those, so no smoking, and seatbelt signs. Set the windows heat on. Air conditioning. Set to. That's fine, they're all set to normal, so cabin pressurization panel is set, 36,000 feet. Lighting panel, we can set the position lights on just for now because engines have not started. Ignition panel, left or right? Let's go left because we started right on the right one last time. Engine starts off. Mode control panel is all set. EFIS panel is all set. Oxygen's tested, let's say clock, and GPWS check, we can do that.
Slide slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Obstacle. Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
Cockpit door is closed. CDU display is set. Let's go and set this to the N1 takeoff and this one to legs. N1 bugs are seen, IS bugs. Indicator speed, what we can have this to? 147, so let's V2 plus 20, 147, 167. MCP is set. Right, so let's have a look. Might as well just turn it on now. Right, let's select the pushback. So we are. Let's actually see where we're going. Right, so we have selected where we're going to go, so we're going to push back to here and then taxi out to runway 25. There's a tow truck there. Let me make sure GPU is disconnected as well. All doors are closed, that's good. Push back, here we are. The tow truck driving up now. Right, okay, as we start pushback, we can start the engine. So let's just turn the yaw dampers on, fuel pumps on. Make sure the APU's bleeds on. And engine 2, N2 rising. At N225, we are gonna inject some fuel. Yep, 25, it was in fact 28, so engine 2 starting. EGT rising, N1 rising on engine 2. Yep, there's the click. So engine 2 started. Starting engine 1. Right, engine 1 has started and stabilized as well. So before taxi, generators 1 and 2 on. Generator 1 on, generator 2. Pushback's complete. We can turn the APU off as well. Probe heat on. Anti-ice not required for both wing and engine. Pack switches we can set to auto. Trimmer on at this time as well. APU bleeds off. APU as required, not required. APU can go off. Engine starter switches to continuous for departure. Both engine start levers are idle. Yep, hand signal on the right there from our pushback. There's the pin, they're driving off now, thank you very much. Set takeoff flaps, so flaps 5. Set to 5, and yep, let's just verify that. Set to 5, and extend to 5, and we've got the green lights there. Flight controls checked, so let's quickly bring the yoke back. Full left, full right, full forward, full aft, got full movement. Twist that off. And the lower DU we can set as blank. There we are. Right, let's start taxiing now, and let's make sure everything's good on the overhead panel. Make sure we've not missed anything. Nope, we haven't. Just doing a 10 call to cabin crew. Turn our taxi lights on here now and start taxiing. let's set the timer on there, the stopwatch, because we have got 15 minutes of taxi fuel. It shouldn't take us that long, but obviously if it did, we'd need to sort of reevaluate how much of the reserves we're going to eat into, and if we need to go back and, you know, obviously if you've got 15 minutes of taxi fuel, then yes, you've got reserves, but you've got to sort of assess if you're in a, let's say if there was an emergency on the airport or something, and you had to wait a while after your engines had started, you need to reevaluate your fuel situation. All good, obviously we've got the airport to ourselves, no traffic on, so right, so we are on taxiway Bravo at the moment. We are going to turn on to taxiway Alpha coming up. That's taxiway Alpha. So let's slow down slightly. Alright, so left onto Alpha, which should take us pretty much all the way there to runway 25. Got distracted there for a sec, nearly took that off the taxiway. Close, but we're okay. Right, so like I said, all the way down to runway 25. So still taxiing on taxiway Alpha, then we've got the right turn on Alpha 1. Alpha 1, left turn onto runway, and then we will do a turn on the runway right at the end of the runway. Okay, again at this point you normally get your clearance to enter the runway, but let's presume we have that, so we can turn on the landing lights and turn the taxi light off. Entering runway, again no traffic expected, but checking left, checking right and checking left. Runway is clear. Right, lined up on runway. Set the auto throttle there. Let's set altitude here to 36,000 feet. Our taxi time was only 5 minutes, so we can reset that. Right, elapsed time, so we've got a total flight time. Toga set. Checked. 100 knots. V1. Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. What on earth happened with our throttle there? I have no idea.
400.
400 feet back ground level, we can set autopilot. And we can start to
1,000.
start to stow away at the opposite way. Start to get rid of our flaps. Flaps are retracting, that's fine. Passing flaps up speed, and speed's good. Step to 250, that's looking good. Strobe lights for the lights today. Strobe steady, that's fine. TARA, we already set that on. Toga switch, pitch to 15 degrees, landing gears up. VNAV mode, LNAV mode are both set. Autopilot's engaged. Engine start switch we can set to off now. And landing gear lever is off as well. Good stuff. Climbing cruise, so above 10,000 feet now, we've just got to turn the landing lights off. Let's see. Right, passing 10,000, landing lights can come off, and passenger signs are on automatic anyway, so again we can just put an attend to the cabin crew. Yeah, it looks like toggle that, so let's see. Seatbelt signs, let's presume, have gone off. Okey-dokey, so how are we looking? Coming through nicely at OLNEY, we expect flight level 133. Yep, we're going through 13 now. We should be good. Looking alright, looking alright. That's already done, that's right. Alright. Alright, climbing at 3,000 feet per minute. Nice strong climb. Headwind of about 66 here. You can see straight at, well, pretty much straight at us. Headwind component of about 50 knots. So yeah, it's taking us up nicely. So get the fuel flow is good, oil pressure is good, oil temperature is good, quantity is 18 quarts. We are That's hilarious. In the cabin, I've just heard cabin crew announce that they're calling for a passenger Escobar. It's made me chuckle a little already. Right. Obviously, I didn't do the welcome announcement, which is fine. I'll do the level off once we've leveled off at 36,000 feet. So we're looking good right now. We are just parallel to Coventry. Coventry should be on our left, and then Birmingham should be further afield, and essentially that there, what you're seeing there is Birmingham. Yep. There it is, in all its glory. Birmingham. So we are looking good, going in the right direction. And let's see, let's set that to 80 now, and we can turn the airports off, so we haven't got excess data warning. There is our top of climb, just in between TNT and Elvos. So yep, by the time we reach TNT, oh no, it's gonna. The top of climb is there at MCT Manchester. So once we reach Manchester, that's our top of climb there. Look at that headwind right now, 100 knots. Very strong headwind here. I guess we're in the jet stream, the westerly jet stream that we all know. It's the one that's bringing us all this cold and rainy weather from the Atlantic. So obviously you might, for those not obviously in aviation or not met, some people may not, but the all of that sound comes from this component here. It's a trim wheel, and you can see it's the stabilizer trim. Essentially what that does is every time the aircraft makes an adjustment to either up or down, because it's on autopilot, it then trims it so it doesn't need to hold that. It just trims it so it essentially holds itself. You have this obviously on small aircrafts, big aircrafts, and obviously jets as well. So you do hear it. It's an actual wheel. You hear it in the aircraft as well. It either goes up and down. You can see it's just pointing down a bit because we've got a strong headwind component. But yeah, that's what that sound is. Airbus have it as well. This is obviously a 737, but Airbus do have a trim wheel as well. Okay. Just watching the review on the video on the stream on another device. You can obviously see my FPS and whatnot are not great. Not the most powerful computer in the world, but again, got to do with what you have. I just got to turn that off. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but it's good enough. It's good enough. Where are we? Just approaching top of climb, 1,000 feet to go.
1,000 to go.
There you are, and then you, as you know, as you heard there, that warning sound there is what's heard in an aerial aircraft as well, and it doesn't say 1,000 to go, but you hear that warning sound, and that essentially lets the pilots know that they've got 1,000 feet till their set altitude. So whatever's set on here, whatever's 1,000 away on here, then it will say you've got 1,000, and then that squares up as well, so you can see a rectangle over it, just to sort of say what that warning was about. It reminds the pilot. As we level off, then I think it will make a automatic announcement, or if not, I'll make the announcement. Oh, here we go. So we're cruising now, just overhead, well, 6 miles away from Manchester. Looking good. Obviously reached our top of climb slightly sooner than anticipated at Manchester, 15 miles sooner, and that is because of the strong headwind that we had. Even now, I mean, we've got 83 knots headwind, but you saw earlier on we were bang in the middle of the jet stream, and that was giving us a headwind of about 110 with a crosswind component. Right now, yep, we're 2.5 miles from Manchester, and our top of descent there as well, you can see, is just that green dot there to the north, just at Pennell. We'll start our descent. So let's see the progress, how we're doing. Fuel at MCT as we approach MCT now should be 4.3. And 2.1, 2.2, yeah, that's 4.3. So bang on really, yeah, 4.3 fuel prediction. ETA was 10:15. We're literally over now. We're 3 minutes early to our destination of MCT. Oh no, that's the next one now. ANSIP. At ANSIP, at MCT we were 10:12, 10:11 and a half. So bang on time really there. ANSIP will reach in a distance of 21 miles and at 10:15 with a fuel prediction of 4.2 tons. Arrival into Dublin here, EIDW, is 177 miles away from us right now. 10:45, which is 11:45, so in about 32 minutes time we should be there. Our top of descent is going to start in 46 nautical miles at 10:19, so literally 6 minutes time we will start descending. You can see how much time we spent in cruise really. But that's the beauty of short haul flights. Very short haul flight, obviously. It's about an hour long, if that really. What we departed 23 minutes ago, and we're going to be there in half an hour. So yeah, about 55 minutes flight. I'm surprised that SimBrief even gave us 36,000 feet, but it's fine because you know when I have flown before from, let's say, Luton to Amsterdam. Normal cruise there is around 23,000 feet with an Airbus, but again that's a very short flight, so that's about a 45-minute flight, so I guess total time in the air is what, probably 40 minutes if that. So overhead Warrington right now, looking good at Mach 7.79, so we're 80% the speed of sound at this level, flight level 360. What I have not been doing, and what normally happens in the aircraft, is if you reach a point, if autopilot is navigating you somewhere, you sort of set that on the heading bug, so if the autopilot was to disengage, you've still got a reference, or if LNAV, lateral navigation, was to disengage, you can go into heading straight away and without having to think about it too much. Right, let's, you know, we're top of climb, let's start planning our descent and approach. So first of all, we'll set the approach, get the ATIS, so I'll check on my other browser the weather for arrival at EIDW. Marginal VFR, visibility is 10 kilometers or more. Wind, we've got a southerly wind from 270 at 10 knots, and that's varying from 210 to 290 degrees. No gusts, so broken clouds at 3000, and QNH is 1016 hectopascals. So our approach into 28 still stands, still good. Let's set flap 30 speed of 147. ILS 110.15, course 278. So let's set the courses now whilst we have time. Oh, gone too far. 278. Course set, let's set the frequency, ILS frequency 110.15, 110.15. Let's set this one as 110.15 as well. Right. Looking good. So that's our approach set. Let's now set Yeah, we can start verifying landing altitude there as well. We'll just check what Dublin is above mean level in just sorry, above ground level in just a second. Altitude. What's that gonna do here? Ah, yes. 1016 hectopascals. 1016, one back. So under STD. STD is standard. Above, let's say 6,000 feet or 3,000 feet in the UK, depending on where and on the day. And again, with Europe and across the world, really, every country has their own transition altitude. I just remember it as 6,000 in the UK. 6,000, above 6,000 you set standard again, so the rest of the world, anyone that's flying, any pilot, they all have the standard QNH of 1013 set, 1013 hectopascals. Below that we've got our arrival set at 1016 hectopascals, and we'll do the same on Mr. Co-pilot side, so that is 1016 set, ready for us to switch over to once we arrive. So let's set that there. So we've not got long until we've got about 10 miles to our top of descent. What's our what is our minimum here? So flight level 80, I guess we'll be flying to flight level 80 for a little bit as we approach in. Landing altitude, let's see. Right, so Dublin is 73.8 meters above sea level, so that's about 200 feet. That's set. System annunciator, recall, nothing there. Approach ref page. Approach ref, yes, we would have done that. Speeds are good. Maps 30. Landing today at 147. We will set the MCP at 152 as our final speed. Minimums we've selected as 300. I'm not too sure. I haven't seen the plates for Dublin. Radio navigation is set and verified at 10:15. 110:15. 110:15. And auto brake will set to 1 where not too heavy, so we shouldn't need too much.
At this time, please check around your seating area and the seat pocket in front of you for any cups, glasses, or other articles you wish to discard. Kindly hand these items to the flight attendants as they make their way through the aisle.
Sort of wanted to go into the cabin and see what What's crack-a-lackin'? Very good. Anyway, let's shut that cockpit door. Right, descending now. We're 28,000 feet, descending at about 3,200 feet. We are on profile. In fact, as soon as I've said that, we've just gone up about 100 feet below profile, but obviously very much within range there. As you can see now, we'll start seeing a lot of cloud. Right, anyway, back to where we were. We can put the landing lights on for now. I mean, it's very early. Normally on an aircraft, on a real flight, you wouldn't do it at 26,000 feet. But let's just do it now anyway. Get out of the way. Passenger signs. Set the seatbelt lights on. Altimeter set. Update RNP. RNP is good. Our RNP is 400, and our actual navigational performance is 50. So we'll be doing an ILS procedure into runway 28 right today. And what I'm gonna do, well, let's say if we're flying down to TW814, I'm gonna say, let's say rather than going all the way down here and then just going in on ourselves, I'll give us a nice approach from DW814, and let's say we've got ATC clearance to Abu. So let's manipulate that. Yep, so now we'll come in and then we'll turn there, execute that. Here we are, profile's looking slightly better. And in fact, you know, we could manipulate this even more to give us a straightened approach to Abu or whatever, you know, normally would happen in an aircraft with ATC, but we've not got ATC, so let's just leave that there for now. And yeah, let's see, we're still good for descent profile. We are flying 274, so let's set that on panel there. Yep, so flight level 100, flight level 100 or below, we have 8,000 on there, so we'll meet that restriction. At BAGSO we should be below flight level 80, 100, flight level 100, 10,000 feet. That's our descent path. All looking good. So we did say what our so let's check the progress. What our arrival into EIDW was 11:15. Still hasn't changed. That's all good. Rimbu coming up next. Distance to go is 8 nautical miles. We'll be there in about a minute or so, and fuel 3.9. So we've got near enough to, or 1.9 there, I guess, and near enough to. In fact, that is 3.9 bang on at the moment. The fuel we've got. Looking good. Nice idle descent into Ireland. Not in the cloud layer just yet, just above. There we are. There we are. So we are over the Irish Sea at the moment. Hence why you see a lot of cloud. You will see more cloud above. Well, not necessarily true, but generally above water on a day where you have weather like this, and then there's obviously that weather from the west bringing in a lot of rain, a lot of colder temperatures than average. Okay, set this to 20 miles. 20 mile range, so halfway is 10 miles. We can see the top of descent after BAGSO is literally a couple of miles after, about a mile after it. There's our deceleration deceleration location, I should say. So in between ADS 15 ADS and Carav, we will decelerate. So right now we're going to fly level at 10,000 feet. Beautiful. Nice. Some of the grey clouds there would. It's what we look like from a navy ship by the looks of it. But obviously you can't really see anything. Oh, it's an American. You can see the condensation there above the wings there, because obviously we're going through this more air with a lot of moisture, so you can see from the wingtips as well, it creates these little vortices, and all very realistic. Wow. Right, so here we are between Addis and Karev. We are descending
1,000 to go.
1,000 to go to 8,000, which is what we have set. So let's see if we need to review that. 3,000 above on ab. That's fine. So we're flying a Star at the moment, which is a standard arrival. But obviously we've manipulated it. We've cut in early, which is fine, which is all good. Yeah, so I've got a standard arrival into runway 28 right, ILS. Frequency is 1015, 11015 set on the boxes there. So just got to hold 8,000 until DW 814. Speed is 220 or below, so we're just holding really, yeah, just flying that standard arrival. Like I said, airports have this because you've got a lot of air traffic control that are not gonna monitor every single aircraft. They expect them to fly the standard arrival up until a certain point. Obviously, they monitor every single flight on radar and via the ADSB. But what I mean is, they know that aircrafts are going to fly standard arrivals, then you can get them on a motorway in the airways. You're going to fly some airways, some waypoints, some fixes, and then come in through a standard arrival. And then, yeah, ILS. Okay, what else do we need to do? Looking good. At this point, I'm going to set the engines to continuous. There we are. AP roll mode on. I'm conscious of setting the approach too early. Could, but just conscious of doing it. I want to do it at least once we've got the... Yeah, I guess we've picked up the frequency. 25 miles out, but I mean that is a bit far out. Let's turn on to... Right, so I'm just gonna reset. I'm gonna reset this to 3,000 feet as well. So let's presume we've got 1016 is set on the QNH. Let me just verify that is still the case. Get the latest meta. 1016 is still the QNH, so it's light raining, 13 degrees. VFR, no warnings. 12 knots at 260 degrees. Visibility's dropped down to about from 10 plus to 9 kilometers. Cloud ceilings 3,800, broken at 3.8, scattered at 3, few at 1,000, so we should be good. Okay, now we can set the approach mode on. You can see localizer is already starting to capture, so let's set this armed. Localizer captured. Yeah, we've got the pink diamond there. Looking good, looking good. Just flying up the RSC now. Right, so it's essentially a very long final. Very long final indeed. We're about 18-mile final at the moment. I've set this to approach. And I'm gonna take it out the center mode. So we are just below the glide slope, obviously, but that's normal, because we should be capturing the glide slope at around 15 miles or so. I would expect by 15 miles, 13 to 15 miles, certainly. Just want to be able to capture the localizer at that point by then. But you always capture the localizer from below as opposed to above. So that's all fairly normal. Okay, we can set flaps to 1 here now. About 13 miles. And there we are, glide slope captured. Yep, 13 miles, about 12 and a half, 13 miles. And we can put the landing gear down and flaps lever to 15. So landing gear down and 3 green. Flaps 15. Okay, let's set the flap 15 speed here at 160. Landing gear down, 3 greens, flap 15, continuous, and speed brake arm. That's armed. Illuminated armed. Flap lever as this approach altitude is set to 3000. Yep, our missed approach altitude is 3000. So we're looking good. If I zoom in, like I said, we're on a very long final 228 right, so everything's looking good. Let's recall, no warnings. So about 10 miles out from the airport, landing gear. Landing gear's down, flaps 15. And now we just need to go back to this and make sure our VREF speed is 146 plus 5, 151. So I will start to give it another, go down to flap. Flap 25 and we'll keep it above. 2500 on the radio altimeter checked. We're 5 miles out and we are still looking good. We've got a headwind of about 18 knots, which is perfect. Go to approach mode here and make sure we are. Oh, what's going on? Expected a more of a stabilized approach from
1000.
checked. From the autopilot. Okay, at 500 feet, we will take over.
400.
Autopilot disengaged. Minimums, continue.
300 minimum.
Continue.
Flight slow. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Right, interesting approach from autopilot, but we a little shaky on approach, but managed to land okay.
This will be your one and only indication that it's safe for you to get up and move about the cabin. Please be reminded to use caution when opening the overhead bin to prevent injuries from articles that may have shifted during landing. You may now use your mobile phones and other handheld electronic devices while we taxi to the gate. However, your laptop computers and larger electronics must remain stowed. We invite you to visit BAGSO.com for all your future travel needs, including checking in for a flight and managing your STAM miles account. If any of you should have questions regarding ground transportation, baggage claims,
Right, so let's taxi over to the terminal now. So as we have now cleared the runway, stow away the flaps. Speed brakes can go. Anti-skid auto braking can go off as well. And runway lights can go off as well. Right, we'll taxi to stand 140 and we'll go via Mike November Foxtrot 0 and then Delta November. So we're on Mike at the moment. Let's assume we've got clearance to enter the runway here and continue onto Mike. Because every time you cross the runway you do need clearance, ATC clearance. But let's pretend we do have that. Mike onto November and then we're going to turn right and well, that is where we're headed. In fact, I may change my location of where I park. But yes, let's turn right here onto yeah, let's taxi to one of the ones with the jetways. Obviously Ryanair would never do that because jet bridges cost more than a remote stand. let's go there. Onto the apron. Which is very tricky to taxi without rudder pedals, but like I said, we do with what we have. So let's say 313 Charlie. Taxi onto snap 313 Charlie. Oh gosh. I really want to slow down now. Here we are. So at Dublin Airport, we've taxied to 313 Charlie, connected the jetway, our cargo coming off, offloading our food, sorry, onloading food and offloading any rubbish, etc. Ground power's connected. Let's go back and see the landing. It wasn't the best landing, but yeah, surprised with how unstable the autopilot approach was, but Oh my god. So how terrible it is with replays, but well, let's just that was terrible replaying that. I don't know why it was like that. But anyway, we are here. We are done. So next flight I do will be departing out from here, perhaps back to Luton. Peace.